point, and I can't remember exactly when it was, but I recognized that I wasn't here to see the new thing happen.
Mm.
I was here to be part of the bridge to the new thing,
Yes.
which is in some ways really important work and very exciting in its own right. And in other ways, it's a little bit devastating because you don't get to see the end, at least in this lifetime, of what's possible. You're in the slog of doing it and creating it and reshaping it. And that messy middle is like a giant death and rebirth cycle.
Mm.
And that, I think, is what we're seeing right now. We are, I don't know about in the beginning. I feel like we're definitely in, like we're post the beginning, but it's not quite sped up enough to be a full death cycle yet. But I feel like we're in the throes of it.
Yeah.
Our systems are going offline. The things that we took for granted as being a certain way, like that we've experienced the world, like simply going into the grocery store and the shelves aren't stocked, for example, or showing up to any kind of business these days and it's not open because they can't staff people, for example, and they've just had to shut down early that day or whatever it is. Like small things like this that are signals to the way we've been doing things is ending. I think that's really starting. And then we're seeing big examples too, like what's happening in China and Peru and other places on the planet. The war we're having with Russia and Ukraine. Like there are a lot of big happenings also that are beating the drum of this death cycle of the old way of things.
Yes.
And it feels like the dying gasps and the grasping of the old way coming out. I feel like we're seeing a lot of that right now. And I love to be optimistic about this, but I'm also a person that's comfortable in the darkness. I think it's going to get a lot heavier before it gets lighter.
Mm-hmm.
And for people that are listening, I don't think that's a scary thing. I think that's what we signed up for. I firmly believe we all signed up to be here right now for this.
Yes.
So embrace it and take up your own part in it.
Yes. Yes. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And the death cycle, um, avoidance of, and a negative perception of a death cycle is what has been in the way of our expansion all this time. And we see it reflected in all systems, natural systems around us.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The miracle and the truth of life, you don't have to look that far or come up with crazy theories. You just observe what is right in front of you and what is your own body and it gets us back again to this idea of working with systems and surfing the waves and embracing what is brilliant, which is trillions of years, if we even want to look at time, but these natural organic systems, a planet and life and all of the life that can breathe and the awareness that humans are to observe that life. Like it's mind-blowing to me that we ever can think, one, that it's not like this miracle, and two, that we would ever question what evolution has brought this about. That it's like, why would I for a moment think that I know better
Mm-hmm.
than something that created a planet? And I'm not talking about whatever your perspective is. If we look at quantum universe, what frequencies, what time, what systems, what codes What structure within a structure within a structure within a structure within a structure had to be created in order for us to take this breath and be able to have this conversation and see each other and communicate, in this way. Like, this is uh so death is a part of that. The
Yeah.
concept of death, or the death of a body, an ending, because it's not an ending. It is always this transformative process. And part of our immoral, or these other kind of like mental systems that have been like a plague on us for so
Mm.
long, is this resistance to these things.